Hi everyone, it's me again. This is something quite different actually than I usually do. This is an art journal that I've been working on. I work with people that have brain injury, and I've been doing all sorts of mixed media, art textures and things to let them, get creative. And this was my sample books that I'm going to show you through. I just kept this like that because I really like that paper. It's just an old book that I altered, and I've glued pages together to give me decent, thickness to work with. This is just all mixed media, and lots of it I've stuck down papers and tags and tickets and fabric, lace, threads, and I've got lots of gesso on here. I've done some stenciling. And I've got this little wooden cut there of a butterfly that I put up. Lots of shadowing with a black pencil, and just put on here "Seize the Day." And I support my clients to do a page similar using all these techniques. And then the next page is this is a doily that I've glued down onto a page that's been gessoed. Gessoed over here, and we've done some stamping, and that's another piece of that doily, and just a bit of layering here with some music paper, some gauze, an image. These are bits off doilies, some more. And then I've just put a bit of seam binding on that tag that I used there, and then just put friends there. This page is, we used gesso again, and we glued down tissue paper to give this effect here. And we just found various items. There's a bit of mesh, some ripped up paper, some old book pages, this little wooden thing. We stenciled again here, and on this one we used some inks. We just out of spray bottles, and we just sprayed it on the page here and there, and then inked around the outside and put that on there, and take time to stop and smell the flowers. This page here, I just gave them a theme, black and white, don't use anything other than black and white. So on this page here I've gessoed the page to get it ready, and then I've glued down some dictionary pages, done a little bit of stenciling with the gesso, some stamps, and this here is actually all washi tape, and then ink the edges. Quite like how that one turned out. This one here, it was just letting them just play with doilies again. We didn't gesso down, we just glued Mod Podged our doilies down onto the page, and then just found some different embellishments, and I quite like to put a little quote onto all of them, so "Fly high" to go with the butterflies. This one here, we had a little vintage theme, and I wanted them to create stacks of papers and pages and things. So there's doilies, and there's old book pages, there's dictionary page, there's tape, there's a little bit of zigzag, and I gave them choices of a vintage image to put on theirs as well. So that's a piece of old silk there, a piece of zip, there's an old curtain hook, a doily, a tags and string, and then we lightly gessoed over here, and then Being a Gentleman Never Gets Old. I really love doing that because vintage is my thing. It's got lace under there as well. This one here was just me playing around with another sample of a different doily, and then I got them to do a stack, another slightly different stack, using just a little bit of fabric and a whole lot of different bits of paper to try and get them to layer the paper. This one here was just a glue down collage. So the idea was just to get them to cut some images out of magazines and just randomly glue them down in their pages, and you know, have a little bit of fun with gluing them down. And these here were paint effects. This is just dropping paint onto the page and basically closing up the page and then opening it up, and this is what we're left with. And we used some cardboard pipe, and we just made little circles on there and flicked a bit of paint on, and then popped a quote in there. Every family has a story, welcome to ours. This one here, we created this card first, and it's just a piece of card. It's got tea bags glued down onto it. It's got threads, gesso that's got the tea leaves from the tea bags in there, and then just lots of inks. And same here, these were lots of spray-on inks, and then just letting it run down. This one here, it was sort of, I was inspired by watching a lovely lady, Martha, on YouTube. She does some amazing art techniques. Oh, this page is always a bit sticky. Hang on, that one says live in the moment. This one here was just tissue, paper towels. Paper towels, it's got a paper doily first, and then paper towel ripped up and glued down to give a little bit of texture to the page, and then lots of food colouring dropped onto it. That's basically how we did that, and a quote on there, colour outside the lines. You may not be able to see it, but there's lots of texture in there. I love all these colours. This one here was just another vintagey effect. I gave them a bag with, I think it was 12 pieces in it, all exactly the same as these, different picture though, and the idea was to create a layout using those pieces only. And this is the one that I came up with as a sample. That image was already in the book, on the book page. As you can see there, I need to glue that back down. This one here was just some paint effects, just using 2 or 3 colours, throwing some paint on a page, and then using the circular cardboard chip pipe to put some different colour in there, and then making 2 little ATC cards, popping them on there. And the ATC cards, their idea was they'd only use the black and white again. And then this was another collage, just getting them just to use black and white. It's not that easy just to go through a magazine and select out black and white, but the idea was just to let them go for it, using words, images, and just layering them on there to create a picture of sorts. And then the last page, which is coming unglued, the idea was to do a collage using only one colour, so I chose green. Sometimes all you need is a little splash of colour. And I found that image of that really cool fairy, so I went with that. These are just a whole lot of ripped up bits of paper under there. So I was really happy with that one. And that's the back. And that's my art journal. Thanks for watching.